Hello, loves. Hello. I'm Rose, of course, and we are on Love Rehab tonight, and we are discussing Conversation Rules the Nation. Let me share this to a few pages really quick as we get ready to dive into the show and go ahead and get started. Okay. Tonight's the discussion is going to be Conversation Rules the Nation, Talk That Talk. I'm a little tired, y'all, today. As y'all probably say, I always am, but you know what? It's okay because my work is definitely being showing forward. So I honestly don't mind. Okay. I'm almost done sharing the page. I'm just going to let a few more people join on as we get ready to dive into the show. Almost done. Phone over here ringing at the same time. I just really hope nobody calls while getting for the show. Hey, Mom. All right. So, like I said, today's discussion for today is going to be Conversation Rules the Nation. And today, with the topic, we're going to discuss the types of communication. We're also going to discuss the importance of communication, how communication can be misunderstood, as well as the ones affected from lack of communication. Also, what we can do what can be done to make the change. So, I'm gonna definitely tap into that. I have someone looks like what they want to join on the video. Oh, okay. Oh no, sorry. All right, excuse me, y'all. Today is my work day. My off day today. So I kind of just been getting just a little bit of rest and kind of to handle a few business and things of that nature. But I'm not going to keep you all today. I did pause the show this time because on Sunday we had the Saints game versus the Cowboys, and y'all, I am highly disappointed. I'm disappointed in my Cowboys. I am, of course, forever a Cowboy fan. However, I don't think they played their best game. With the win we had with Spence, I think that we should have brought that home. You know, we were not in proper communication. Everyone was not in communication with each other. Dallas as a whole should have had a better communication. But you know what? That's for another day, and that's not about this topic. So what we're going to do is jump into the topic. First, with the types of communication, we have talking is a form of communication. We also have body language, love language, music, art, and then lastly we have energy and frequency. So of course there's more levels of communication, but these are the ones I want to talk about tonight per se, just to kind of dive into the subject. So of course with talking, that's definitely one of the main levels of communications as far as humanity goes, and within that you can break that down into texting, emailing, Skype, whatever, any types of form of communication within someone talking to another individual in order to get a message sent. So I just got that one done first, just due to the fact that that's kind of relevant to basic communication. Also, body language, love languages. Body language, I put that one down because it is important to have to pay attention to body language when you're looking into getting an answer from someone, or when you're looking into or just knowing someone. Body language is very essential to understanding, basically. And when it comes to understanding, communication definitely has the highest level of degree when it comes to that. So that's one. Love languages, of course, your love languages are quality time, gifts given, words of affirmation. There's two more. I forgot them. They're not at the top of my head. But when it comes to love languages, that is a form of communication based off of, the person that you're dating, what is their love language and how it is beneficial to you all's relationship in order to make it be an even flow, in order to have the communication just be, at a constant. So that is essential. Music is definitely a part of a love language. music is definitely part of communication. These days, music, of course, is not the same it is as it was or as it has been, like back in the 90s or even back in, the 50s and the 60s. Music as a whole has changed tremendously, and the form of communication definitely is the actions of the communication is definitely, we're aware of that, based off of the types of music. Right now I have some background music, which is just kind of on some frequency things, some megahertz. Someone told me previously that when it comes to frequency and when it comes to megahertz, there are certain levels of frequency when it comes to music that that is put out basically based to alter your emotions. So right now, what I am listening to is a 432 megahertz, which is a deeper healing or letting go of all energy. So that is essential to have. What I can do is before the end of the video or at the end of the video, I can post a link from YouTube, what I've been listening to, or just some things and they have different levels of it. Like there's another one on here that has let go of fear, overthinking, and worries. That's for 852 hertz. 528 hertz is like releasing inner conflict with struggle and anxiety. Pretty much just like the clearing out, like, any type of blockage that you may have. So those are just some things that, when it comes to music wise, the forms of communication, those are some things to kind of keep in mind, because even when it comes to the music that you listen to, it plays a lot of factor based off of, how your mood may go. Like I know for some people, even myself, on the way to work, sometimes I listen to trap music, or as I'm getting ready for work, like in my home, I'll listen to gospel music. I'll wake up, read my daily devotion and stuff like that. But when I'm on that road, it's a different story, because I'm trying to put my mindset of, money, put my mindset of, monetizing things. So it's like what I have to do is, put my mind in the things of that. And so while I'm doing that, I'm listening to like trap music, or I'm listening to rap. And what I had to realize, actually over the past week, I've been kind of like heavy waking up and going to sleep. So what I've been doing is paying attention to the smaller things, and like music being one of them. And so what I've tried to do was listen more to podcasts, since I'm like leaning more towards of having my own and things of that nature. So I kind of like let go of the music thing. Even though I'm a music lover, I just kind of put that down for a while, just due to the fact that the music now is not on my level of, especially rap. Like rap now and rap then, like the rap I listen to is kind of off when it comes to the megahertz of the music. So what I've kind of been listening to on the way to work is like podcasts, and I've kind of been having like a better day, or a better commute, I should say, because I drive from North Dallas to Irving. From North Dallas to Arlington. So that drive alone, dealing with traffic, it could be quite draining. So in order to have something be more constant for my mood, I need to have something that is going to enhance my mood for positivity, basically. So that's that. Also, lastly, I'm just going to blend those two together, but the last two types of communication would be art, energy, and frequency, which are kind of put together. Art, there's a level of communication with that, because there's many pictures. You can see so many things. The artist or the painter, they could, paint one picture, but different people can see different things. Like this picture behind me that's in my living room, that picture is a triangle picture, and I have like 3 of them in my house, and all 3 of them have, like, you can look at the picture and see, the actual painting, but if you turn them different ways, it gives it a different picture. So when it comes to art, that's a level of communication as well, based on what the picture is that the painter wants you to see, but also what the picture is that you want to see. So when you put it in your household, what picture is, or what story is it telling, basically. And then energy and frequency, I kind of blended that into the one I was just talking about with the megahertz and the different levels of music, but also tones, like, listening to nature, listening to water, listening to, the birds chirping and stuff like that. That can definitely put you on a positive level of thinking, and also help the communication with your body be on one accord. Earlier, I was just speaking on, my body being heavy, like waking up and going to sleep, and what I realized is that my communication communication level is not where it needs to be. Like my mind, my body, and soul, they're not within the same frequency. My frequency is kind of low right now, so I've been like excessively tired, you know, headaches out of nowhere, you know, even within eating. So even within drinking water, so I've really had to pay attention like these past couple weeks to my body, and it's been communicating with me that I need to take better care of myself. Even by me talking, sometimes I be at work and getting tongue twisted. I'm like, Jesus, this communication right now, it needs to be enhanced, because what I've been experiencing lately is just not of me, and I really don't appreciate that. But at the same time, what I'm going to do in order to make it better is work on, you know, my frequency, and make sure I'm putting myself, you know, in a better position, eating better, drinking more water, of course. Sometimes I feel like I drink as much water, I'm going to turn into a fish. But I mean, you know, I guess that's a part of life, and 70% of our bodies is made up of water. So, you know, to hell with it, okay? But I do have this book, Let Your Life Speak. I did speak on it in previous pages before. Previous videos before that I was speaking on the books I've been kind of indulging in. And Let Your Life Speak, which is by Mr. Parker Palmer. I've been kind of like diving into this one, and so what I did, I've been kind of stuck on this first chapter, and the chapter is listening to life. And that's kind of another reason why I went on the communication standpoint and kind of dived into it, because when we listen to our lives, it's so many things that our lives can tell us. It's so many things that our bodies can just tell us, you know, without even having to speak words. So a lot of things stood out to me here, and I kind of want to share with y'all and kind of see what you all think about it. One of them was a poem that he had, because this is like a vocational book, a book of kind of finding yourself, like a soul search kind of book. So within this one, he had a few points. He did have a poem here from Mr. William Stafford, which is called Ask Me. And when he said that, he says, sometime when the river is ice as me, no, when the river is ice, ask me mistakes that I've made. Ask me whether what I have done is my life. Others have come in their slow way into my thought, and some have tried to help or hurt. Ask me what difference their strongest love or hate has made. I will listen to what you say. You and I can turn and look at the silent river and wait. We know that the current is here, hidden, and there are comings and goings for miles away. That holds stillness exactly before us. What the river says, this is what I say. And so when it comes to that, ask me whether what I have done is my life. That kind of stuck out to me, because a lot of people, and when you go back based on frequency, if your frequency isn't at the level that it needs to be, sometimes it could get easy to look at someone else's frequency if they're on a higher frequency and say, hey, I want that, or hey, you know, I feel like I can obtain that. Yes, you can, and yes, you very well may. However, how do you know that that is for you? How do you know that you know, what the things that they've done to develop that frequency? How do you know that God has put those things into you to develop that frequency? How do you know that your level of frequency being low at that point, how do you know that God is not putting you there or placing you there to level up? You know, it's different levels of frequency, and we all kind of go through them at some certain points of our life, especially when we're on a journey, because of course it's not a race. And so when you're on a journey, you actually go through different levels of frequency. So it's actually important to make sure that that frequency is, one, where it needs to be, and also two, you have a level of understanding with where you're at within that frequency, and kind of like utilize that to understand it, but also know it, so you can know where you need to go moving forward. Another few points that kind of stood out to me in this, he says, if I have eyes to see that the life I'm living is not the same as the life that wants to live in me. And that actually goes back into the frequency, of course. And it also kind of goes just with happiness within. Happiness is also a form of communication, because externally, you know, you can say that you're happy, but internally, deep down inside, something could be eating you alive and you're not knowing what it is or why it is. And that something could be what's trying to, it's like the fire inside, that's trying to get out and have you, you know, have your purpose come. And purpose, a lot of us, you know, I can keep on saying over and over, a lot of us are still looking for that. And purpose, you know, you can look for it in different types of ways, but how can you find it? You know, it's within, it's just within yourself. So you have to make sure that when you have that frequency, that you're paying attention to those things, so you know you can know what your purpose is, and let your life speak, which is what this book is basically about. Let that inner purpose and let that fire and desire, you know, come out, so that you can fulfill that purpose, not only for yourself but for the ones around you. Because at the end of the day, our purpose is not for ourselves, it's for the people around us, and how we are, you know, sharing God's word, and how we are being that window so that God's light could, you know, help ourselves, but also the ones around us. Another one of them said, before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen for what it intends to do with you. Before you tell your life what truth and values you have decided to live up to, let your life tell you what your truth you embody, what values you represent. And that kind of just still goes back into the frequency. It also goes back into energy as well. Like having you know, your energy be heightened, that kind of opens your awareness, so you're able to focus on these things and understand, you know, the meaning of them, and you know, and where they're coming from. Also within my notes, I kind of write notes for the show. I put the importance of communication. The importance of communication when it comes to just relationships as a whole. You need to have communication. That's actually like one of the top things to have, because if you don't have communication in your relationship, you don't have anything. Within relationships, within even longevity, a lot of people can think that, oh, you know, I've been with this person, they should know me, or oh, I've known this person so long, they should know me, or even family members, they should know me. Sometimes I used to feel like, why do so many people want to be around me so much, and they should know that I don't want to be bothered sometimes. And not because I don't like people, I don't love those people, but sometimes, even going back to the old show, those moments of solitude are so important, y'all. Like, I need solitude really pretty much a lot of times more than some, because it's a lot of things that I'm trying to do right now, and I have to put myself aside, and I have to, you know that I can't be engaged with other people around me at all times. I have to communicate that, hey, right now I can't go out. Right now I gotta be at home. Right now I gotta pay attention to, you know, what's in front of me and what's important, because at the end of the day, I have to communicate not only with them but myself. If my body telling me you don't go, and nature, like, that's a nature's force. If your mind, body, and soul is telling you don't do it, that's a nature's force. That means you have to sit still and have a moment of solitude to know what's going on within that particular moment, know what's going on within yourself. But also within the importance of communication, those things, that solitude, the having communication, all that channels your characteristics. It shows who you are as a person. It doesn't show, like, a lot of people, they may kind of feel bad for not being able to hang out with their friends, or they may feel bad for not being able to do a lot of things or attend a few things. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you really have to kind of, you know, go back to square one sometimes, because when your body sometimes communicate, or your mind communicates with you, sometimes you have to go back to square one. Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna always have to have a plan A, B, C, and D, you know, no matter what it is when it comes to, you know, getting things done. So your body's gonna communicate with you, hey, that one ain't gonna work, let's go to plan B. Oh, okay, that one ain't gonna work, let's go to plan C. You know, there's still things that have to be done. Also, the importance of communication, it just creates a balance as a whole. Not a work-life balance, but a life balance, a love-life balance, a love for yourself, a balance for the things that you want to do and the things that has to get done. It has to be a balance between all of those things. So Those are the important things. And just going back and tackling into these other inserts that, stood out from the book to me was that insight that is hidden in the word vocation itself, which is rooted for the Latin meaning of voice. Vocation does not mean a goal that I pursue. It means a calling that I hear. Voice, which goes back into one of the terms of talking. I think why this subject is so important to me is because I'm aspiring to have my degree in public relations, which communications is one of the common denominators for each different level of communications as a whole. But within that, you have to have a voice. No matter what dynamic is going through, y'all know, I don't know if the ones have been following me, I don't know if y'all remember by me saying I have my camera that I use. I love videography, I love photography. I went to school and I went to Skyline for for media and stuff like that too. What have I dropped? I went to school for media and stuff like that too. So those kind of things are important to me. Sunday when I go to church and I do the media, I do the cameras, whatever type of week I've had. If I've had a bad week, I use that camera to utilize like expression. Communication is for expression. It expresses the things that, people need to know about you. It expresses the things that are important, that are essential, but not only for you, but for the ones around you. I went to an interview today. It was all right. But on the way there, I just noticed that it's not time to move around yet. It's not time to move. Where I am right now, of course, it's been challenging. Been challenges that I've had to face, adversity I've had to face, and honestly, it took today for me to realize that sit still, go through these moments of solitude, and realize why you're here. Because you're creating this balance between the things that you need to get done, so you can't be moving around. You can't, you have to sit still in the moments of solitude to know. This level of frequency is because of what? You're having the opportunity because of what? So, you have to know that the importance of communication is that it definitely does create a balance between, love and light itself. Also, I also put for the notes how communication could be misunderstood. Ooh, y'all. Communication can be misunderstood through pain. Communication can be misunderstood through pain. A lot of us have a lot of misunderstanding and misinterpretation of communication by pain. Due to the fact of relationships. A lot of people, I can definitely be a witness to this. Of course, I'm transparent with everything. I've indulged in so much pain when it comes to relationships, and if I move on to the next one, if I have not let the pain go from the past, that pain will carry with you as you continue to go. Even as you continue to grow. Even if you continue to grow and that pain is steady with you, you're gonna still be at that same level. You're still gonna have that same level of frequency at each level of relationships. Even at work, even at home, within your family. Like right now, my family probably feel like I don't love them. I love everybody. My family probably feel like, okay, what's wrong with Sierra? What she got going? I'm just at this point. I love everyone, and I need everyone to know that the things that I'm doing is not for me. It's for all of us. And right now it's been kind of hard because I have a lot of things going on within my personal life that I kind of let it get to the best of me, but also I have to sit back and say, hey, you better than that. Hey, you gonna overcome that. Hey, this is just a test. Hey, this is just a season. Hey, continue to pray. And also, by me saying pray, I'm gonna skip over to one of the other topics when I'm gonna just say that what we can do, what things can be done in order to heighten the level of communication is we're gonna have to put prayer, action, and faith all together. I don't know why I skipped all the way down to that one, but just by me saying what I just said, I kind of wanted to throw that in there. But we have to put prayer, action, and faith all together, just due to the fact that, with that pain, if you're not understanding or not knowing why you're going through the same things, communication is telling you, your inner gut is telling you, life is telling you have to let go of that pain. You have to know that, honey, you have to let it go, because it's not, the more you hold on to it, the more you'll forever go through those same exact things. And in order to grow, you have to let go of the pain. In order to grow, you have to let go. And that's just as period. Another way that communication could be misunderstood is through codependency. Ooh. Our level of our generation today, and the level of intake of things, alcohol, drugs, whatever, it has definitely been a lack of communication. And not to even downplay, but Future, the rapper, he talks a lot about drugs and stuff, like the intake of drugs. And I love Future, as he's a good person. He got some jamming music, but also going back into the type of communication, Future just promotes drug intake because he's probably dealing with so many levels of pain, and it's a codependency within these drugs that he's teaching us to indulge in. And if you don't have a strong mind, then you don't have a strong mind and your level of frequency is low. Those things are going to very well happen over your life. Those things are going to very well be a thing. So codependency is definitely not okay. Codependency is definitely a level of misunderstanding when it comes to communication. Also, silence. Silence kills. Silence kills for sure, and no one is gonna know how to help you. No one is gonna know if you need help, when you need help, if you don't say anything. That is a vital sign of communication. You have to talk. You have to verbally express what's going on with you and what's going on. Even if you don't want to talk to everybody, have one particular person that you could vent to, or one particular person that could pour back into you, because sometimes being the stronger person, you can run out of words sometimes, because you've literally you've intaken so much, you can run out of words to say. Even when it comes to God, oh God, I don't even know what to say when it comes to this prayer. But just go ahead and take over right now, because what my heart desires, what my heart wants. You have to be silent in the moments of solitude with God, though. Don't be silent with the people around you, because you never know who's there to help and how they can help. So that's very important. But also the ones that are affected from the lack of communication is very important. Let's just start with these children. Children children only do or say the things that they see done, or the things that they hear. So it definitely levels down to the lack of communication. I know, all of us have probably heard it before, that our moms that say, do as I say and not as I do. All of us has heard that so many times, because of course your parent is going to want, best for you. But at the same time, if that parent isn't able to, be at their best, then, they have to make sure that they're praying, to make this change of communication, that their child understands, hey, what I said is do as I say and not as I do. What I do may not be right, but what I say is better for the both of us. So as children now, they have to have, we have to teach our children to have a strong mind, basically, because the way this world is set up today, y'all, I'm gonna even speak on this Amber Guyers story, with Mr. Botham. The brother of Mr. Botham, he forgave this lady. And a lot of us don't even understand that, for one, that's the communication with God, and self is forgiveness, because that's how you're gonna be able to move on. That was something big for him to do, and a lot of people are angry behind that because they're like, oh well, she didn't get enough sentencing, or oh, he shouldn't even be, happy with, not happy, but he shouldn't, like, quote unquote, let it go. But at the same time, you never know what God told that man. Like, okay, yeah, the judicial system, it's set up this way, and it's gonna happen this way, but you never know what's gonna happen when she goes behind those bars, when she has to have those moments of solitude and those nightmares that she's gonna have to face because what she did was wrong. So, we can't base our communication, or we can't base our frequency on someone else's. We're just gonna go back to the frequency. Like, everything within this topic today is tagging on with each other. It's creating the things that it's creating communication within itself. Like, this whole thing is just an even flow. Also, those ones that are affected from the lack of communication is healthy souls. If you have a healthy soul, if your soul is not tired, you have to make sure that you are protecting that at all costs, because communication from others, whether it be positive or negative, can definitely take hold on your healthy soul. So, you have to make sure that you're, protecting those things at all costs. You're, having your moments of solitude, you're praying, you're also having, deep faith, or even the faith is as small as a mustard seed. Within your communication, you're also putting action towards those things so that you can get those things done. I have someone who wants to be in the video, y'all. I don't know who this is. It said her name was Stephanie, but we're going to let her go ahead and join in and see what Miss Stephanie has to say about these levels of communication. While we're waiting on her to add on, we're just going to also break down the last two topics of the lack of communication. Is going to be the last ones affected from the lack of communication, is ourselves and is God. Ourselves being one, because if your frequency level isn't where it needs to be, if your mind, body, and soul isn't where it needs to be, your communication as a whole could be, it could be thrown off. Okay, so yeah, I don't think she's gonna join on. It said it was adding, but she didn't come on. So if she wants to come back, we'll just go ahead and add her back then. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep on rolling with the show. God is affected from the lack of communication. He puts us here, of course, to communicate, but he also puts us here to be the window, so he can be the window. We can be the window that is the light is shown through. His light is shown through. So he's affected by the lack of communication because, one, he created communication between people, between things, just the communication as a whole. So he is the most important that is affected by the lack of communication, because once he's affected, we are affected ourselves, the ones around us. And we all know that within, if communication isn't clear, then there's going to be it's going to just be things are just going to be everywhere, basically. Everybody's going to be all over the place. There's not going to be any type of understanding. And when it comes to those things, I don't think I want to be having lack of communication. I want to have proper communication with each and every individual that I encounter, that I come across, because and then for me at work, like that's what I'm good at. I'm good at helping something go from a 10 to a 3, because I'm gonna look at you like, ma'am, sir, I'm gonna need you to bring that 10 to a 3, because I'm gonna help you, but you need to let me help you. Because if we don't have the proper communication, this here where we're going back and forth, we're not gonna come to a mutual agreement of anything. Because if we're both angry or we're both mad, then it's definitely not gonna help. So those are kind of just a few things that I broke down when it came to communication as a whole. And lastly, of course, even though I said it before, what can be done to make change on communication is prayer, action, and faith, or faith, action, and prayer, or however you want to put it, whatever level you want to put it in, whatever order. It all still matters on what can be done in order to, make the change, in order to make communication be as a whole become better. Like, we definitely have to. Understand each other but want to understand each other. We have to love each other but want to love each other. Like, if we're gonna be those people that God created us to be, then we have to act as such, and communication would be the number one thing. And within a relationship, like I said, communication is the first and foremost, and if you don't have that, you don't have anything. Of course you have to have trust, but those two things kind of coexist within each other. And lastly, before I end the show with you all today, I just want to point out my last topic, or my last two inserts from the book, which in the book is also Let Your Life Speak by Peter Palmer. What the hell? Y'all, this man's name is Parker Palmer. I want to keep on calling him Peter for whatever odd reason. I don't know. And since I can't communicate to this man's name is Parker, y'all might not get the book that I'm talking about, but y'all definitely need to read this book. This is a really good one. Like I said, I've been stuck on chapter 1 for quite a while because I've been kind of busy, but every time I pick up this book, I can't go past page 8 because this talks about communication. Like, it's so good. And it also talks about going into this moment of solitude so that you're able to communicate thoroughly, properly, and as you should. But the last two things I want to talk about that populated to me from the book was the difficulty is compounded by the fact that from our first days in school, we are taught to listen to everything and everyone but ourselves. Wow. To take all our clues about living from the people and the power around us. Now, how are we supposed to teach children to listen to themselves? How are we supposed, because school is going to tell you, you have to listen to the teacher. Like they say, you have to listen to what life is, from everyone else's point of view. But from your point of view, what is life? From just imagine yourself being your childlike self, going back to being 6 and 7 years old, where you're able to understand, coming from the scholastic point of view, what is life? And also take yourself back to that point so you can create the inner child in you to live life without fears, live life without limits, live life beyond limits, and not limit yourself to anything that it is that you want to do in life, because at the end of the day, your life is yours. And if you don't communicate to yourself that you're going to be on a higher frequency, then you're going to forever be at that lower frequency and living at that frequency of lowness and, thinking, woe is me. There is a life above a low frequency. There is a life of high frequency. In order to, have that life, you have to listen for guidance everywhere and within being first. Listen to the guidance from within in order to have the proper communication with self. I hope that you all enjoyed the show tonight. I told you I wasn't going to keep you all that long on today, but I'm going to kind of go back within a few of these comments. I seen Miss Angel Moore. She did say a few things, and my sister said something too. Miss Angel Moore, she says most people don't know that you have to train the subconscious mind to be untuned with your conscious thinking, and you can do all that by being aware of your chakra balancing. Oh, girl, yes, ma'am. You challenge or change your balance by everything you're speaking about. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. The chakras. She definitely did mention that. Let me pull up something really quick. There are 7 chakras. I think there's 7 chakras. And within all of those break down, energy and frequency. And with those, all of them have a deeper meaning and a deeper level of understanding. You have your crown chakra, you have your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, which is pretty much your gut, and also your sacral chakra and the root. All of those are important because, and I love the picture of the chakra because it's kind of like in a meditation position. That is another level of communication because you are meditating, you are um, you're in a position of you're communicating with yourself like I need balance, I need ease, I need I need abundance over my life right now. So you have to get deeper in tune with self to know the levels of communication. um, I just like I said, I was going over, if you don't listen to your body, it will shut down. My mom said that, and you know what, baby, my body, it's definitely been feeling like it's gonna shut down lately, and I'm just like, I can't. I have to keep going. I have to keep going, and my body's like, nah, you have to sit still. So I'm listening now, and it's definitely telling me to sit still. So I'm gonna do so. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and end it with that, with those things. I hope you kind of just encourage you all to tackle into your level of communication, tackle into your frequency, and just to understand who you are and who you are becoming and where you're going to go, because life itself, it has a deeper meaning for you. And so if you all have any questions or any concerns or anything that you want me to speak about on the next show, I will, I definitely will do the next show on Sunday for sure. If you all have anything that you kind of want to discuss that you might not want to talk about, I'm very open in doing so. So definitely tune in and let me know. With that, I want to go ahead and end that with a good night. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and peace out and love and light.